Ladies and gentlemen, this is 8th round bout in cruiserweight division. Introducing first, in the black corner, he weighed in at 90.3 kilograms with the record standing 3 wins in 3 bouts, 1 by knockout. He is an Asian Championship silver medalist, World Championship bronze holder from Gazalkent, Uzbekistan, Madiyar Said Rakimov. And his opponent in the gold corner, he weighed in at 89.85 kilograms with an outstanding record, 11 fights, 11 wins, 7 by knockout. Introducing the hard-hitting from Vladikavkaz, Russia, David Zukaev. Your referee from Italy, Luca Vadilonga.
Okay, guys, watch your head, no punches back, no low blow, no holding, listen to my command, touch your gloves and good luck.
So a quick look at the tail of the tape between these two undefeated professional boxers. This in the cruiserweight division. I misspoke and said it was heavyweight during the ring walks. And it's between the man wearing the black trunks trimmed with gold. That is Madiyar Said Rakimov. 3-0 in the professional ranks. No stranger to competing on the IBA stage. And again, as an IBA 3-round boxer in the vest of Uzbekistan, was one of the very best in the business during his tenure there. Just caught to the right cross to the body against David Zukaev, an 11-0 professional with 7 inside the distance for a 64% KO ratio. These two athletic boxers in the cruiserweight division, as Zukaev scoring with an effective left jab to the body. Right hand driven beneath the left elbow from Said Rakimov. That's an effective stab jab downstairs from Zukaev, was reciprocated and then backed up by a right hand from Said Rakimov. So both boxers finding their range pretty quickly, each one of them content to circle their opponent right in the middle of the boxing ring, atop the logo at center ring. Reaching for a double jab to the body. The second one was partially parried by the right hand of Said Rakimov. Counter left hook not too far away as Said Rakimov went in search of a right hand to the body. Terrific sharpshooting with a left jab and then a right hand on an upward trajectory, and that flashy combination had plenty of substance behind it as well, and it was applauded by the fans in attendance here at this open-air venue. But remaining concentrated and just continuing to trip out a left jab and following with a right cross of his own is Said Rakimov. Good right cross to the body once again from Said Rakimov. He was countered the last time he threw that. Back comes Zukaev with a right cross to the body of his own. Scoring jab to the chest once again from Zukaev, responding and establishing his own left hand is Said Rakimov. Nice roundhouse right scored by Zukaev. Said Rakimov keeping his shape nicely. First round in the book. My goodness, both men finding their distance straight away. Some of the action from the opening round where both men had their successes. Terrific skill in evidence over the course of that first 3-minute stanza.
Секундантый за ринг.
So we move into the second round of a cruiserweight contest scheduled for 8. And if the first round is anything to go by, we are in for an absolute cracker here, because the skill and the athleticism in evidence from these two boxers was a joy to behold. Both men shaping up very well indeed, and out of these almost textbook shapes, able to create angles, both with their body and for their punches. I saw each of them producing some real moments of quality. Roundhouse right, not too far away from Said Rakimov, blocked effectively by the left glove of Zhukayev. Both men continuing to trust in the jab. It's serving each of them well as they score with it and measure the distance to both body and head. Nice scoring right cross from Said Rakimov. Counter left jab was a cracking shot from Zhukayev. Then a left jab to the body. Said Rakimov with high hands held wide apart. Driven back to the ropes with a straight right cross to the torso. Said Rakimov working his way back to center ring behind a feather-light jab that is blinding his opponent, and then he used that left hand as a decoy before dropping down with this right cross to the body. Good right hand to the body, countered by a right hand over the top from Said Rakimov. The two boxers finding themselves in an untidy tangle. Beautiful combination. Said Rakimov shakes his head contemptuously. But there's another jab of the razor-sharp variety. Looking for a right hand over the top behind another left jab into the sternum. Was Zhukayev. Right hand into the left flank of Zhukayev from Said Rakimov. And this is wonderfully competitive action with a real high skill component. Lead roundhouse right, got behind the left glove of Zhukayev for a scoring shot. Right hand just grazed the chest plate of Said Rakimov from Zhukayev. Right cross had some pop behind it. The double jab upstairs which followed just got the attention of Zhukayev. He now looking for his get back after it was a good portion of the round for the man in the black and gold. Roundhouse right slung into the rib cage. Terrific work. And what an audience these two men have, because to the left of our commentary position here ringside, we've got two outstanding cruiserweights in Denis Lebedev and Evgeny Tishenko, former world champ Denis Lebedev, Evgeny Tishenko, the Olympic champ from the Rio Games. And one wonders how much inspiration are these two taking from the presence of those outstanding champions at ringside. Some of the action from the second round. So into round three we go. It's a high-quality cruiserweight affair scheduled for 8. Mention the fact that the man wearing the black trim with gold, Madiyar Said Rakimov, World Championship bronze medalist at the 2021 edition in Belgrade. Scores with a nice shot while changing angles in front of his man. And at that edition, at the semi-final stage, it was Julio Cesar La Cruz who got the better of him en route to what is his 5th world title. And then they had that rematch in the IBA Pro Series in the Caribbean islands capital last summer. La Cruz getting the better of him on both of those occasions. But it gives you an idea as to this man's talent, that it takes a boxer as outstanding as La Cruz, as unbeatable as La Cruz at his best, to keep him out of a gold medal bout at the World Championship stage. Nice right hand driven into the body by Zhukayev. Cracking double jab right hand from Said Rakimov. And another jab. He's just peppering his man with it here now. And a strong right cross into the body, as Zhukayev looking to employ the half cover guard. And for as competitive and eye-catching as it's been for the first 2 rounds, in that middle round, you just got the impression that it was Said Rakimov who was beginning to be a little more consistent. Right hand around the left glove, followed by a snaking left in between the gloves from Said Rakimov. Little half steps back, keeping Zhukayev at bay, and then a check right hand as he spins out of the neutral corner. Terrific work by the man in black and gold, and look at the accuracy and a hitting hold as he held his man behind the neck with the left hand and helped himself to a right uppercut underneath. Referee Mr. Luca Vadilonga on that infringement in a flash. Right hand lead around the gloves once again to clobber his opponent on the ear. Long bridging his man with the lead left jab. That against the rules, of course, to just hold it out there in a bid to use it as a measuring stick. Nice right hand driven into the body from Zhukayev. Oh, what a left hook. Didn't set it up with a jab. It was a lead left hook, and it caught Zhukayev as he was thinking about beginning to throw. And in this battle of undefeated professionals, you get the impression that it is the man with the 3-round pedigree, the 2021 World Championship bronze medalist, who is just beginning to slowly turn the screw here and assert his authority. Terrific round for him so far, building on the momentum that he enjoyed in the closing passage of round number 2. He switched southpaw now. What a good round of boxing for the man in the black corner. Madiyar Said Rakimov with a really good 3rd round, filled with outstanding pot-shotting and powerful placement as well. Some of the action from the 3rd round, and there was a cracking left hook, catching Zhukayev as he thought about throwing. So we move into the 4th round of a cruiserweight contest scheduled for 8, and the man in the black trunks, Madiyar Said Rakimov, picked things up from the end of the 2nd round, truth be told, and he maintained that momentum into the 3rd and began to put, for my money, a little bit of a gap between himself and his opponent, the sharp-shooting, undefeated professional David Zhukayev of Russia, feeding him that steady left jab in between his gloves, and it just forces Zhukayev to have to back up and try to reset, because look at this now. Every time he thinks about throwing what were effective shots in the opening round and a half are now being read and are now being countered, and he's just got to think his way in a little bit more against Said Rakimov, because one is left with the impression that he's the man who has adjusted to the speed of his opponent and is timing him beautifully, leading off attacks with a whole variety of punches, including an eye-catching left hook in the 2nd round, looking for a counter right uppercut as Zhukayev looked to disengage. Right hand lead once again, right hand to the body from Said Rakimov, and able to avoid the attempted counter from the man in the white trimmed with gold. Interesting passage of the contest for Jukayev now, because by definition, as an undefeated boxer, you don't know how to lose. And of course, the confidence will have come from amassing that 11-0 record, but facing the sternest test of his career here on the IBA Pro stage. He's been matched competitively throughout his career, has Jukayev. It's not as though he's had gimmies, but what has worked previously, he's just being dealt with effectively, and so he's going to have to come up with some type of adaptive strategy, because for my money, he's losing this contest through 3 completed rounds. So what can he do differently? How will he overcome the doubt that may have entered his mind? Beautiful work to both body and head, looking for the counter right hand in response to Jukayev, but it was an effective passage of the round right next to his own corner for Said Rakimov. So how will the man from Vladikavkaz deal with his experienced opponents, who's not running away with it, but I think he's winning these rounds? Counter right uppercut, not too far away. Went for a right hand over the top, did Said Rakimov, only to be struck on the counter by a shot to the body. And the referee, Mr. Luka Vadilonga, again telling Said Rakimov that long bridging his man, just holding that left hand out there, is not legal. Nice jab to the body from Jukayev. He's countered by a left jab upstairs. Jukayev trying to quicken his feet, lands with a shot to the neck. And the two men exchanging punches after the bell. The nut stuck in with the head from Jukayev as the final word in what was a rather bad-tempered coming together after the bell had sounded. Thankfully, both men make it back to their corners. And I don't think there's any love lost between these two in what is a hard-fought, competitive affair. And I think it's this man who's getting the better of it. So this is what happened at the end. Shot to the neck, bell sounded somewhere around here. Hold that. Nice to meet you. My good friend Alex Arthur from Edinburgh, Commonwealth Games gold medalist, interim world champion as a pro, one of the best boxers of his generation from the British Isles. He told me that that is referred to as a Glasgow kiss, when you flex your neck and put it on your opponent like that. And I think that is what was just demonstrated by the man from Vladikavkaz. So a bit of a universal language in that regard as we move into the 5th round, and that of course not permitted in a boxing ring. So a trip between the boxers, no knockdown, and that is why a wry smile causes the gum shield to be visible in the mouth of Said Rakimov. And again, this is an interesting passage in the career of an unbeaten boxer. Takes a good right hand to the body, does Jukayev, followed by touching left jabs to his head. Because what can he access now? It's as though he's reached the end of all the books he's read, and he's being introduced to a different level here. And it's a level that he perhaps didn't know existed. I'm not suggesting it's beyond his comprehension at this stage, but he's got to work with what he currently has in a bid to try and get himself back into this one for my money, because since the mid-portion of the 2nd round is a right-hand lead lands and a solid left hook. My goodness, that was a cracking shot off the back foot from Said Rakimov. He was ghosting backwards towards the gold corner on the far side of the ring, planted his back foot into the canvas, and there's a right hand from near the neutral corner. A terrific portion of the round for Said Rakimov, measuring his man with some sumptuous hooks from either flank. Real quality being produced by Said Rakimov, and encouraged by his fans in attendance here. Jukayev trying to get onto the front foot and put it on Said Rakimov. Scores with a left jab to the body. Oh, there's a good right hand over the top, but firing back immediately to show his opponent that he is still in contention is Said Rakimov. Zhukayev trying to quicken his feet after being encouraged by that success with his booming overhand right. Good left hook to the body from Zhukayev, but countered immediately by Said Rakimov. Zhukayev went in search of a right uppercut to counter the counter. Good right hand to the body from Zhukayev, and maybe that will be a profitable area to mine in search of success, because hasn't really had much success when looking to land to the jaw of his opponent since the second half of round number 2. And he's just beginning to slow down a little bit here, seemingly. He's an uber athletic boxer, but is the speed beginning to dissipate? That's certainly what Said Rakimov's corner, just to the right of our commentary position, feel. And they were encouraging their man to come forward in the closing stages of that round. So plenty to ponder over in that corner for Zhukayev. There was the tangling of the feet between the two boxers. But there's an example of some of the punch picking. There was the overhand right from Zhukayev, but firing back immediately was Said Rakimov, and that a demonstration of the man's competitive spirit, showing Zhukayev that he is still very much in this contest. So just keeping their man's core temperature down as the sun beginning to set here on this glorious Friday afternoon here, rest day in the IBA World Boxing Championships. And in its place, in the one-ring setup now, is IBA Pro 13. We're into round number 6 of a cruiserweight contest scheduled for 8. And it has been terrific boxing so far. Two highly skilled, fast twitch fighters were pretty level for the first round and a half, but then in the end of the second round, certainly for the final minute, I was just left with the impression ringside here at the Dubai Duty Free Tennis Center that it was Said Rakimov who, after taking a look and finding himself in that competitive 4.5 minutes or thereabout, as if to say, okay, I've seen what I need to see, I've felt what this man is about, and he just began to establish some momentum. And since that point, for the entirety of round 2 onwards, it's been competitive, but I think the man in red who switched to the southpaw stance, the man in the black trimmed with gold who switched to the southpaw stance has been the better boxer. Some cracking combinations in round number 5, 2 eye-catching single hooks as well. So persisting as a southpaw, just presenting a different look to Zhukayev, who's on the end of a stiff right jab. And look at that for a counter right jab from the belt line, and then 2 thunderous hooks slammed in from the left hand end of the southpaw stance. The first one landed right on the money, sending a shower of spray through the twilight night sky here at the Dubai Duty Free Tennis Center. And this different angle, another thing for Zhukayev to think about. See how his right foot came forward, stepping in and helping himself with a good left hand to the body is Said Rakimov. And Said Rakimov keeping a watchful eye on his opponent Zhukayev as he tries to walk him down, felt his calf touch the ropes and sprung off them. His head may have smashed into the mouth of Zhukayev to add to his problems. Zhukayev looking for the right hand to the body, as Said Rakimov continues as a left-handed boxer, leading with that right leg, looking for a left hook, slung in once again. So both men looking to keep their heads out of harm's way. Referee allowing them to work on the inside, but neither man particularly keen to do so. Closing seconds of the round. Swooping left hand again, looking for a grazing left hand across the body of Zhukayev. And Zhukayev, this is becoming a hard affair for him now, and his competitive spirit is really being tested, because he's in a contest that he's losing, trailing for the first time as a professional, remember, well, not trailing, but losing for the first time as a professional in this, his second outing on the IBA Pro stage. And so he has got plenty to ponder as he makes his way back to the corner after 6 completed rounds of boxing.
Digital competition across cities worldwide. With over $100,000 in prizes and a championship belt for the top global competitor, the race to become absolute world champion is on.
Some of the action from that round, there was the cracking left hand. The second one wasn't too far away, but a contemptuous shake of the head from Zhukayev. But you can guarantee he will have felt that one, and the response will tell Said Rakimov that it was indeed a good shot, because he didn't keep a poker face. There was a response of some description. And when you've got experienced boxers of this caliber, that is all they need to know that the shot did indeed catch their attention. Because for the most part, if you were to do that on every shot, you'd be shaking your head all night like a bobble-headed doll. That's the nature of the business and this beautiful sport that we are in, as Zhukayev and Said Rakimov answering the bell for round number 7. Both men with vocal pockets of support here at the Dubai Duty Free Tennis Center. And a left hook landed once again from Said Rakimov. Back as an orthodox boxer now. Just beginning to embellish his footwork as he continues to use that lead left hand as a measuring stick. So Zhukayev trying to quicken his feet, but he's not really been able to close the gap in his first 40 seconds of the round. Oh, what a counter left hook once again, spinning off the line to make it a check left hook. Terrific skill, and then re-entering the fray as a southpaw boxer is Said Rakimov. Really reaching into his bag and showing his repertoire here now. And Zhukayev, well, I think he's being introduced to chapters of the noble art that he was previously unaware of. Have to credit the man's commitment, conditioning and competitive spirit, because he's staying in there, continuing to believe that he can find a shot to turn this one around. Remember, he landed that booming overhand right in round number 6. As for Said Rakimov, he has to remain switched on as he sat on the ropes over near the neutral corner on the opposite side from our commentary position. There was a cry from his corner as if to say, get off the ropes. That's a pivot punch from Said Rakimov. That's the legally almost backhanded slapped his opponent as he showed his dexterity with his hands. Remember, not supposed to slap with either the back or the inside of the glove. For it to be a legitimate scoring shot, the shot must land with the knuckle part of the glove. Look at him again, that's entering pivot punch territory once more as he's just slapping out that southpaw right jab and he's scoring with it. There's a flicking motion now. I don't think that's a pivot punch. Remember, the Eastern assassin Larry Holmes used to flick out one of the best jabs in heavyweight history. That didn't strain to pivot punch territory, but he did put real snap on it, like cracking the end of a whip to find the range during his majestic reign as the heavyweight champion of the world. Solid left hand once again. So Zhukayev, again, have to commend his commitment as he continues to press in a contest that he's losing, sliding across the ropes and landing a good left hand to the body before he snaps out a jab. Is Said Rakimov. He's feeling the pace as well. Don't think the temperature is a factor. Pretty optimal conditions here now as we approach the twilight of 6 p.m. here local time, approaching 5:30 to be more precise. And while conditions are cool, we have heat in the boxing ring being produced principally at this man's expense, because Madiyar Said Rakimov of Uzbekistan is boxing very effectively indeed. Some of the action from that round, and there are the two cruiserweight icons, Mr. Denis Lebedev and Evgeny Tishenko, enjoying the action here from ringside.
things out. 8th and final round.
So as we move into the 8th and final round of what has been a cracking cruiserweight contest, for my money, David Jukayev of Russia, the man in the white trunks trimmed with gold, needs a stoppage victory here, because after a terrific start to the contest where it was pretty even and competitive for the first round and a half, since that point the man in the black trunks trimmed with gold has began to take control at that point and has maintained and built upon it ever since. Look at that double jab right hand from Said Rakimov. And again, Jukayev has got to continue to believe. He can't afford to stand still and kill the clock, because he's got to find a finishing combination here. And again, if Said Rakimov is inaccurate like that, he's got to be coiled and ready to counter. Easier said than done, of course, but belief is going to be a key component of this final 2 minutes of the round now for Jukayev. Takes a hard left hand into the body. And again, this is going to be critical in his education. Now remember, this is in IBA Pro, so it won't necessarily go onto the professional ledger of Jukayev in the event that he doesn't want it to. But he will know, as a boxer, that he has met his master here tonight, and that's going to impact his approach and his psychology and make him aware of as to the levels that do exist in the professional realm. And so he's got more work to do, more seasoning to acquire to continue to hone his craft and build on his considerable set of gifts. And as long as he's not deterred and discouraged by that, then this can be a valuable lesson and an invaluable chapter in his professional experience. But again, it won't necessarily go onto the professional record of David Jukayev, so he will still be introduced, if he chooses to be, as an undefeated 11-0 professional. It will go on to his his IBA Pro ledger. And again, he will know in his mind that he has been bested here tonight. And so how will he recover from that realization? How will he deal with that realization? But again, you see, when Said Rakimov is inaccurate, crucial. Jukayev is in position and ready to pounce. So closing seconds. And again, Said Rakimov's corner continuing with the vocal instruction, like a whole series of drill sergeants barking commands to ensure that their man remains concentrated. And there's the bell to conclude a really good contest between two skillful cruiserweight boxers. I don't think there can be any doubt about the winner, and it will be the man in the black corner, Madiyar Said Rakimov. Should be declared a points victor here, because from around the midpoint of the second round, he found his range, got comfortable, saw what he needed to see, feel what he needed to feel from David Jukayev, and thereafter he slowly but steadily dialed up the temperature and increased his control. A very good display of switch hitting, pot shotting, and ring generalship. And again, significant moment in the career of a young boxer, because he now knows that he can be beaten, whereas he didn't know that as a...
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do.
So Mr. Alexander Stodokov into the boxing ring, now poised to give the official particulars.
Ladies and gentlemen, at first please applause to both fighters. And after 8 tough rounds, your winner by majority decision and still undefeated, from the black corner, from Uzbekistan, Madiyar Saidrakimov.
So Madiyar Saidrakimov declared a winner on points. It was announced as a majority decision verdict, which I do find rather surprising. But the right man has won, and it's Madiyar Saidrakimov who continues his progression in the IBA Pro ranks. Very good performance indeed from Saidrakimov, and he and his team posing for these photographers who will capture images that they can look back upon in years to come with great pride, because that was an example of the man carrying out the tactics drawn up by the corner to a T, as we look at some of the action from what was a really competitive 8-round cruiserweight contest.